I've used a lot of meal services, but Hungry Root truly stands out because it's built around the way real families live and eat. They don't just send meal kits. They personalize your grocery cart and meal plan based on your preferences and dietary goals. All I had to do was take a short quiz, and right away, their smart cart technology started building a cart that fit how we eat. Now, each week feels easier, like someone else is doing the thinking for me. I've been focused on cleaner eating lately, and I love that Hungry Root keeps out over 200 additives, including things like high fructose corn syrup and artificial sweeteners. Their meats are hormone and antibiotic free, and the produce options include organic and non-GMO picks. They also stock brands I already trust, like Oatly, Vital Farms, and Harmless Harvest. One of our favorite meals has been the teriyaki salmon with green beans, light, flavorful, and done in 12 minutes flat. Plus, I've noticed we waste less food, spend less time shopping, and even save money by skipping those impulse grocery buys. Take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/Dr. Meg and use code Dr. Meg. That's hungryroot.com/Dr. Meg. Code Dr. Meg to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/Dr. Meg. Code Dr. Meg.
On today's episode of Parenting Great Kids.
I was in a neck brace again for 6 months, and then I had surgery, and then a neck brace again. And so that's the takeaways. There's some things in life God's going to be like, all right, I'm going to spare you from, and I'm going to take you around. But there are some things you're only going to learn in life when God takes you through that storm.
This is Parenting Great Kids with Dr. Meg Meeker.
We've discussed in the past how involving your kids in sports can help build essential life skills like teamwork and discipline and resilience, shaping them both on and off the field. Well, today's guest is former NFL linebacker and college football Hall of Famer, David Pollack. You may know David as a hard-hitting football star or as a beloved analyst on ESPN's College Game Day. But now, David has taken on a new role. He is an author, and his new book is debuting, and it is called The Won't Quit Kid. I love it. Welcome to PGK, David. It's so fun to have you on.
Thank you for having me on, Miss Meg. And it still sounds weird when you say author, because that's never something ever that I ever would have dreamed of.
You know, isn't it the truth? It's kind of like God throws you these curveballs, doesn't he? And, we were talking before it. I'm a pediatrician. I end up in the funniest places. I go, but this doesn't make sense. So, but I think this is great because with your background and your history and your expertise, I think it's really important to take all of that and use it to help parents with their kids, because so many parents, are really struggling. So let's talk about you and let's talk about your career. Your career unexpectedly ended. You had a neck injury. Oddly enough, you call that one of the best days of your life, which is kind of weird. Now, how did that happen? And how did that moment reshape your perspective on resilience and faith and handling life?
Well, my goal, Meg, was always to be a football player, an NFL football player, since I was 6 years old. And I reached that goal, but my second season is when I had the injury. And man, I've always had a relationship with God since I was a senior in high school, and I've had faith, but it was very much a one-way relationship. I talked to God when I had time. When it worked in my schedule, it was great. And God, hey, this is going well, appreciate it. And so it was just really cool because when my injury happened, like the Bible says, be still and know that I am God. And I had never done that. And in turn, I'd never really heard from God. But when I had that opportunity to really get still and to read and to focus more and to listen more, to become a better listener, I can just tell you, Meg, that was one of the greatest times. I was in a neck brace for 6 months. I was in a halo for 4 months. I was in a neck brace again for 6 months, and then I had surgery and then a neck brace again. And so Well,
Oh,
it
yeah.
sounds bad, but it was a lot of downtime and it was a lot of thinking and it was a lot of who's in your life for the right reasons. And you start to see some people that fade out when your stardom fades with it. Right. And so it was just really, really cool. I'm a better husband now because of it. I'm a better dad because of it. I'm a better friend because of it. And I think that's the takeaways. There's some things in life God's going to be like, all right, I'm going to spare you from, and I'm going to take you around. But there are some things you're only going to learn in life when God takes you through that storm. And it's going to be hard and you're not going to like it. And it's kind of like the book. It's going to hurt, but God's going to show you something truly great in it and take you to a new place in your faith that's the only way you'd have gotten there. And so that's why I think it was one of the greatest days of my life. That's why I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't want a NFL Hall of Fame career because I wouldn't be the person I am today.
That is really remarkable because so many times people think you have a bad injury like that, and that's a bad injury. I mean, going through what you did, surgery and the halo and neck brace and so forth, that's really hard. And, if it were me, okay, and I were in your position, I would start complaining and I'd start to say, God, this isn't fair. Why'd you bring me to this point only to have me break my neck? And, how are you going to use me? I mean, I'm all washed up. Was there any part of you that wanted to do that? Or did God just sort of take you right away and start to transform you?
I think he took me right away and started to transform me. But here's the thing that I think you only learn when you go through things. And that's why beautiful ministries are born from really hard times a lot of the times, right? Like going through losing a child, and then you start things that help people that have lost children, and you have a ministry to be able to speak to people. So I think it was awesome because God immediately started to build some resilience in me and to build some, I remember I went to the children's hospital, Meg, with my halo on. Because I'd always gone to hospitals and visited kids, but I'd never gone when I was banged up. I was a big, strong football player. And so I walked in there with my halo and I went around to the kids and I was like, hey, I'm struggling too, And so I think to build that empathy, to build that sympathy, to realize and here's another thing that we hear a lot of times in our faith. And my mama said this to me recently because she's new to her faith and she's still growing. She's like, I don't understand. I'm doing all the right things. Why did this happen? And I'm like, what you deserve is all the wrong things. What we deserve is bad. We haven't done, you're not good. You're not inherently good. You're inherently bad, just like me. And we don't deserve anything. And so I think being able to put that in perspective and learn like I am grateful for the day I have. I remember being in my halo and I'm like, somebody buried their child today.
Right.
Like somebody buried their mom today. And all the why me stuff, it's like a rocking chair, right? Like worrying it will give you something to do. It ain't going to get you nowhere. So I think God started to build that in me. And it's a message that I want to share because people have me come speak and it's like, hey, we want you to come, 3-time All-American to Georgia and first round draft pick and all this good stuff. And I'm like, well, let me tell you about some stuff that sucked. Like, let me tell you about some stuff that wasn't that fun. Right. And so I think, building a heart for that and now being able to use it in ministry has been a blessing.
And it's so true. But I think down deep, we all want to hear somebody's struggles and we all want to know that, gee whiz, you did it and you got through and you didn't quit. So, maybe I can too. Would you have written the Won't Quit Kid book if you hadn't broken your neck?
No. And I also wouldn't have written the Won't Quit Kid book if I didn't get fired, from ESPN, which is another part, which my mom would be mad at me right now, Meg. She's like, you were let go. I'm like, Mom, you can spin it however you want. They told me not to come back. Like whatever that looks like, Mama. Yeah. But no, I think when you start to pursue a dream like I have and chased it and accomplished it, and then it's gone and it's taken away. Like, I think a lot of times now the wheels go in motion and it's like, okay, like, what do you got for me next, God? Like, where do you want me? Like, what are things that the art of the possible starts to come back? So I'd encourage anyone who's listening that like you've had a hard time and you failed and you're not where you want to be. Like, okay, what's the art of the possible? And to me, it's like, what really excites me? Like, what gets me happy? Like, I'm a high school football coach, Meg. I coach high school football. I coach high school girls varsity basketball. Why? Because it excites me. Like the paycheck doesn't excite me, Meg. That does nothing for me. But the ability to get 100 kids in football and have a chance to speak a unique message into their lives and play a pivotal part in a critical part in their lives, that's awesome to me. And so I think the art of the possible began, when I've lost some of my other careers and like, what do I want to be? Where do I want to be? How do I motivate? How do I inspire? How do I reach more people? And so I think this was another avenue, like writing a book. And I've also seen a lot of youth league sports. Parents they're a little bit jacked up, man. Like their thought process.
A little bit.
Sweet baby Jesus, Meg. I mean, it is a bad deal sometimes. And so like trying to help parents focus on a specific message. And that's what this book is, man. Like you're going to learn a couple things in the book. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hot and it's going to hurt. And that's life, by the way. So teaching our kids how to focus on the positives and how to go, okay, like I want to show up and have a great attitude and be a great teammate and do the best I can. But success isn't touchdowns. Success isn't home runs. Success is me doing my best, like having a good attitude, having great effort. Like those are things that I can control. So no, without some of the struggles and hardships, I don't think I get where I'm at in my life for sure.
Yeah. Well, looking on the outside, and of course, a lot of what I do is deal with I talk with parents and their kids. And one of the things that I know very well, that I've seen too, is that kids and parents are so wound up about sports. And I know that you've talked about how important it is to bring joy back to the sports and to help kids get that balance in their life. Well, a lot of times it's not the kids doing it or kids not trying to do it. It's the parents. So how can parents and coaches foster an environment focusing on their personal growth and their attitude rather than wins and losses? Because what I see is, parents wear their kids' success as a badge of honor. And it's like, if my kid makes it to the NFL, if my kid is on ESPN, then he's doing really well. Therefore, I must be a good parent. They don't say it. It's probably subconscious. So talk about how we help parents create that balance in their kids' lives and how to get them to focus on what really matters in the game.
It's not your journey. It's theirs. That's the first thing. Take yourself out of their journey. Because so here's the thing, you're way more likely to turn your kid off than you are to turn them on to something great. And so if you keep it fun, I would argue this, Meg, if they enjoy it, they'll work.
Right.
Right? Like if they literally enjoy it and they've adopted this journey as their own, I think they'll be very successful. So when you get in the car, let's not dads, let's not give the lectures. Like, let's do this. Let's go, hey, I love watching you compete. That's really simple. I love watching you compete. Whether you score 40, whether you don't score a bucket, I love watching you. Did you try as hard as you could? Like, did you have fun? Like, those are the questions that you ask, not, man, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? And so I think we can take away the joy from our daggum kids, man, and we can rob them of that joy and we can make it hard. Coaches, make it fun. Like, this is not difficult. I don't need you to raise an NFL player. I need you to raise my kid in an awesome atmosphere. They have a lot of fun. They stay safe. They learn these lessons that are so important about discipline and toughness and sacrifice and winning because of someone else, losing because of someone else, working together. Like, all these lessons are so great. And I think it's the parents that rob them from them. And that's what's frustrating. And that's what we're trying to change. That's the culture we got to get rid of, is just, let's have a lot of fun. Let's enjoy it. Let's not make car rides miserable.
Well, and I hear that from parents, and this is the kind of thing I'll hear. My son plays football, and I really want to encouragement, and all I want is it to be fun for him. And then that same parent is on the sidelines at every game or even practice, yelling and screaming to tell his kid where to be on the field. Well, there's what he believes and is saying is not what he really is doing. So why do parents have such a difficult time really allowing it to be fun for their kids and to take the emphasis off of, gee, I'm so proud of you. You just won that game. What's our problem as parents?
I think it's probably how we were raised. You know, we were raised in a competitive atmosphere, and it was a little bit more old school, a lot of us. So we're a little bit more old school, but these new generation of kids are different. And I would argue because the parents are different and the parents are raising their kids different. I think that has something to do with it. But like, again, I think if we can focus on this isn't my journey, like how can I just come beside them and support them? How can I use sport as a lesson for life? How can I use them as something as a tool for growth? And so it still have fun, but a tool for growth. And here's the thing. Why are you yelling? Like, this ain't your journey. Let them have their journey. Let the coaches coach. If you want, like, here's my thing, Meg. You got 3 options when you come to a game. Okay. You can pick one and you stay there. But these are your only 3 options. You can be the referee. If you want to be ref, for God's sakes, do it. Go be the referee. If you want to be the coach, be the coach. If you want to be a parent, be a parent. Pick one and stay in your lane. Parents aren't coaching. Like, your kid throws a strike or a ball and turns and looks right to you. Like, that's a problem. They're looking, they need you to, I need a reaction because I need something from you. Like, that's not what you want. You want your kids to be out there like, let it rip. Who cares? If I mess up,
and not
so
paying
be it.
attention. Yeah, not paying attention to their parents' response, whether the parents are happy or sad or whatever. I love it.
You know, many professionals invest in an executive coach for personal development and a trainer for physical fitness. Now, you can hire me, a best-selling author and expert coach, to help you raise great kids. I've over 35 years practicing pediatrics and an extensive experience decoding what your kids need and think about you. I've helped countless parents just like you. You can talk directly with me through private or group coaching. I'll listen and provide a customized plan to help you be the best dad you can be. Sign up now through the link in the episode notes. Your kids are counting on you. Let's make your family's future brighter together. Some days, parenting feels like chasing moments that never quite land. You ask a question, they shrug. You try again, they look at their screen. And you wonder, why is this so hard? That's why I love FamGabs. It's a 70-card deck created by a child therapist who spent 16 years working directly with families, helping parents and kids break through the awkward one-word answers and really connect. The questions are open-ended, thoughtfully chosen, and designed to get your child talking and keep the conversation going. There are even bonus cards just for parents to help you build your confidence in your connection toolbox. If you've ever wished for a better way to understand your child or just to have more meaningful conversations as a family, FamGabs is such a gift. Search FamGabs on Amazon and use promo code Dr. Meg Pod during checkout to get 10% off your order. That's FamGabs on Amazon. Use promo code Dr. Meg Pod and get 10% off your order. I've had so many parents say, Dr. Meg, my child is bright, but they're struggling in school and I don't know what to do. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. And that's why I'm excited to share K-12 powered schools with you. K-12 offers tuition-free, accredited online public education for grades K through 12. These programs let kids learn at their own pace with built-in flexibility that supports different learning styles and family needs. And unlike homeschooling, K-12 provides certified teachers who guide your child's education online. The lessons are engaging, the technology is hands-on, and your child gets real opportunities to connect with clubs, extracurriculars, and even in-person events. As a mom, a grandmother, and a pediatrician, I know how powerful it is when education meets your child's needs instead of the other way around. So if you're looking for something different, something better, go to k12.com/Dr. Meg and find a tuition-free K-12 powered school near you. That's k12.com/Dr. DRMEG, all caps.
Now, you had mentors, Coach Eddie Shaddix and Mark Watson, and you said that they played a really key role in your life, not just when it comes to sports, but spiritually. And now you're a coach and you've written a book. How important are role models and mentors in kids' lives? And how can parents foster that in their kids?
I mean, it's huge because despite what you want to believe, your kids don't care what you say all the time. They don't. Like, and I would argue the older they get, the older my kids get, the less they really want to hear from me. They need other people in their lives, man, that are walking this thing out. Like, I want to purposely surround my children with good Christian people. Like, I want them to have good Christian friends. I want them to have friends at church. I want them to have a small group leader who's a little bit younger, that knows what they've been through, that knows what they're going through, knows how to lead them, knows how to love on them. Like, you have to see what it looks like. Like, it's hard to obtain something that you can't see, but if you can see it and you see it right in front of you, and like, oh, that's what it looks like. Like that's what it looks like to be light. That's what it looks like to show kindness. That's what it looks like to love. Like, I think you have a real chance to become successful. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Say that again.
Like, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I'm talking to Meg. I'm talking to David. I'm talking to the person in the car who's 20 years old. It doesn't matter who you are. Whoever you spend the most time with, you will become. You want to try that logic? Go spend time with people that curse.
Exactly.
You'll start cursing more. Go spend time with people who are negative. Yep. You'll be negative more. Go spend time with people that are light, like that they are kind and they are loving and they do things in the community and they're great parents. Like, that's the people that change your life. You want a great marriage? Hang out with people that have a great marriage, because guess what? If they don't care about their marriage, they dang sure don't care about yours, whether you like it or not. That's the truth. So I think that's a universal truth for the young, the old, the whoever, the women, the men, everybody should do that.
Because a lot of times we hear parents say, well, I don't want my kid to grow up in a bubble. To which I say, every kid grows up in a bubble. You just have to choose your bubble, because all the bubbles are different. Or, my kid isn't exposed to, he's not street smart. He needs to be around people who, swear and have a hard life or doing drugs. And I say, why? Because exactly what you say, you become like the people that you choose to be with, and it's interesting. Kids will actually say that they'll talk about their parents' friends. Like, I appreciate my parents having these kind of friends because their friends have the same values that they do. It made me feel that my parents are a little less crazy. So I think the point you're making is really important, not just for the kids, but also for the parents. Make sure that you're hanging around friends that you want to emulate, and that your kids are hanging around friends that you want them to emulate.
So Meg, to that point, Meg, with the bubble, here's my feelings on this, which I think is interesting. Like, if I don't want my kids to grow up in a bubble that they don't experience anything, but I also want my kids to experience age appropriate things. And I also want my kids to experience things while they're under my roof that it might be a little bit different, a little bit unique, that they have questions to. But here's another thing. Everybody has a cell phone. Everybody has social media. Well, don't give me that crap. Like, don't give me this, Meg, that they're going to have a phone at some point. They need to learn to use it. By that logic, they're going to drive a car at some point. So at 14, they don't need to be driving a car. Yeah. Right? So their brains aren't ready for certain things. My kid's brain's not ready for a cell phone at 10 years old and all the things that come with it. So that's something that I'm going to make sure that they stay away from. Like, I'm going to stay away from social media. as long as I can with my kids, because I don't want them to experience some of these things and start comparing themselves because they're not mature enough to handle that yet. So I think there is a fine line, yes, between living in a bubble, and we got to find others to serve and to love on and to pour into. But there's also a fine line between your kids not ready for certain things. So let's not, like, we had a discussion in our small group. There was a couple that they're sophomores in high school. They're okay with them going to a party with alcohol because they're going to make the right decision. I'm not ready to take that chance at 15. No. Like, I don't think my kids
can't make the right decision.
Not at that age to me yet. So I'm going to protect them as long as I can while still exposing them to as much as I can.
Well, and talk to them about that, and again, I think that parents allow their young kids to go to parties where kids are drinking, because they feel they can trust their kids because their kids are smarter than other kids and because they have a stronger will than other kids. And that is not true. What we realize is kids are so desperate to be accepted by their peers, even if they're doing bad stuff, that they're going to go along and do that. And that, our job as parents is to kind of protect them from making bad decisions. They're going to have a real harmful effect on them. So let's go back to you, because I want to pick your brain a little bit. You've done a lot. You've played NFL, you're a college Hall of Famer, you're a broadcaster. So you've made some significant career shifts. You went from football to broadcasting. What was it like broadcasting on college game day?
Well, Meg, it wasn't on purpose. I wanted to play football, but that door closed. And then I never thought I'd be in the media. I remember when I was in my neck brace and I'm like, dude, I'm watching college game day. And I'm like, I'm arguing with Kirk Herbstreit, who's one of my better buddies. And like, I'm like, no, like, you're wrong. And I called my agent the next day and I was like, hey, I think I can be a broadcaster. And they're like, did you go to school for that? I'm like, no. I said, I'm hard-headed. I'm opinionated. I'm obnoxious. Like, I feel like I check a lot of the boxes to do this. And I think I was somebody who had football in their life since I was 6 years old. And when football disappeared, that's not a life that I was willing to embrace. Like, I love football. It means a lot to me. And I'm like, I need it in my life in some capacity. In the broadcasting, man, I still got to compete. I still got to say, I can work for this and learn this and try to do this. And listen, it was hard because I played Meg. They put the dumb kids on defense, Meg. So it's okay. Like, cause you just got to see ball, get ball. So that's where I played. So formulating sentences and like putting it all together was extremely difficult in the beginning. And I mean, extremely difficult. So it was a fun challenge. And then, a cool way to see the country and experience different traditions and fan bases. And game day was so much fun. And I enjoyed it. And my family enjoyed it for 12 years. We did it.
Wow. So how did that help you learn how to adapt to new challenges even?
I think you learn that, like, when one door closes, another door opens. And that doesn't mean that door opens and all of a sudden, Meg, I'm walking through it and that thing is bright and shiny and it's like, I'm here, I have arrived. Like, I remember when I started broadcasting, I started at Fox SEC Gridiron Live, Meg, audience of 3. Like, my mama didn't even watch because it was like from 12 to 2 a.m. recaps on college football. Nobody was watching, but I literally remember looking at myself and I'm like, dude, you're a freshman in college. Like, you got to go out and work and you got to earn this. No matter where you're at and what your job is and what your title is, like, be the best at it. Because how I got to ESPN College Game Day was on a show that I thought nobody was watching and wasn't a big deal. And guess what? Kirk Herbstreit was watching one day. And the dude called me after the show and was like, hey, I was watching Fox SEC Gridiron Live. I was like, why? Like, oh, you were one of the 4 people. And he was like, I love your passion and your energy. We need more of that. That's what opened the door. So if you're getting coffee to a company right now and you don't feel like you're getting respect, be the best at it. Like, you're getting coffee with a great attitude, with a smile on your face. You're a secretary, like, you want to be the boss, so be it. Like, be a great secretary. Like, when you're great where you are, a lot of people will take notice. They will see it. It's not going to be in your timing. Like, it might happen later than you want it to happen. But if you shine and you let your light shine, like, people will take notice. So be great where you're at.
I think you're absolutely right. And I think a lot of it is an attitude that's a choice. because a lot of times if we get knocked down or we, our career, our NFL career or something is cut, people start to feel sorry for themselves, particularly young people. And boy, I deserve better than this. And why did this happen? But it seems like your attitude was very different. You flipped it and used it for good. It's like, okay, well, where else can I really excel? What can I bring, some joy to or some brightness to? Because that would have been hard, honestly, to have been on a show where just so few people were listening. But I admire your tenacity and the fact that you just, stuck to it. Let's talk about the won't quit kid. Now this is a children's book. What do you want kids take away, and what do you hope parents take away?
That we can use sport in the right lane, in the right vehicle, like we've talked about, that we don't celebrate all the things that come with sport. We celebrate our kid doing our best, and not quitting. And teaching them how to be a great teammate, teaching them how to show up and do their best. And I think a lot of times it's how we talk to them. It's you should be doing this, you should be doing that, and your coach doesn't see this. We don't need to undermine coaches. We need to support the kids' coaches. We need them to respect them and teachers. Yeah. I tell my kids all the time, if I get something from your teacher, I don't believe you. I'm going to believe your teacher. Whatever they say, I'm going to believe it. I'm not going to believe you're right. I'm going to believe they're right. It's just so you know. And so here's the thing, Meg, 60% of kids by the age of 13 are quitting sports. We don't need that. We need more people playing sports now and being a part of a team. And so it's just about embracing it, embracing sports, embracing the hard, embracing the hot, embracing it when it hurts, and watch how much you'll grow and get better and be more resilient and learn how to handle those moments that aren't necessarily ideal.
You're absolutely right. I think, well, first of all, why are they quitting by the time they're 13?
I think it's a combination. I think of a lot of kids are getting burnt out because they do so much at such a young age. Parents that are flipping crazy, that are yelling and screaming at them and making them do X, making them do Y, and they don't want to be told that anymore. And I think it's because it becomes unfun. I don't think they like it anymore. They don't like to do it.
Yeah. But I love the attitude that, okay, my kid is out there playing football. He's never going to go to the NFL. He's not going to play college ball, and he's okay, but not great. But I want him to stay at it, to learn to do something hard and still just kind of enjoy it. And I'm going to back out of the way. That's a hard task for a parent, because we want our kids to put energy into all the things that are going to make them, quote, successful, which of course is defined by us. But I think that you're absolutely right. If parents really want to grow character in their kids, they have to be willing to get their kids to the right places where that's going to happen. And that's going to be uncomfortable for both of them. That's kind of what I'm hearing you say. Is that correct?
Correct. And there's a million teams. Don't settle. Don't settle for a bad team. Don't settle for the world telling you have to do it a certain way and you have to be at X and you have to be at Y. You control your family's schedule. You control where sport goes on the ledger and where it lives in your family. Because I'm going to tell you this, Meg, God lives in our family first. Mm-hmm. Sport does not overtake God. So on Sunday mornings, we're going to be in church. Now listen, kiddos, you can come in your uniforms, and that's awesome. I want you to come in your uniforms. And we can miss a game because God's still going to be on the throne tomorrow, whether you win or whether you lose. And so I think that's another important example for our kids is we control our schedule. It doesn't have to be the team we're on. We don't have to chase these teams. These teams aren't going to dictate your success in the future. That's a lie. Mm-hmm. These travel ball things are for money. That's why they exist. People are making money hand over fist. So you run your schedule. You run how much sports gets to be involved, which is an awesome thing, but you control that. Mm-hmm.
What would you say to the parents that have their kids in 2 or 3 sports at a time? And so they're kind of running here and they're running there. And it's so common for parents never to have dinner with their kids. The kids one kid eats at 4, one kid eats at 7. They kind of just stand up and eat. What would you say to those parents about how to maybe shift their priorities a bit?
Well, first off, like Meg, I'm speaking to myself when I'm doing this because I messed this up. Like if I could go back, I would do things differently. Thank God, like he kind of opened my eyes about 5 or 6 years ago and he changed my heart with it. But, what I would say is we don't do that in our house because we did it one season and it was absolutely miserable and we were all over the place. You don't need to play a sport year round, period. Again, you're not like Meg. Here's what wins. I didn't have a personal trainer. I didn't have a travel team. I didn't have a personal coach. I made it as a first-round draft pick in the NFL. How did you do that? Because God gave me a gift. God gives you a gift or God didn't give you a gift. And that's the bottom line because I can take an athlete and I can get them better like this, like so much faster than someone else. And so I think, that perspective that we can keep in mind is great, but the busyness and the doing all the time, that's not going to make them more successful. Like, again, I would argue if they really, really like it and they go into a season and they finish it and they go another season, their brain thinks differently, their body moves differently. How about this? If you want to build a superstar, most kids that are superstars play multiple sports. So maybe look at it that way, just not at the same time. Don't let them play them at the same time because then you're more likely to get hurt. You're more likely to hate doing anything because you're going from one to the next all the time.
Well, and it breaks up the family as well. It's interesting as you talk and we're talking about, pushing our kids and how sports can be so stressful for kids. And then you put on top of that the fact that they're never really with their family. And then they're on social media playing video games. And then, the family doesn't ever come together as a family unit. No wonder our kids are so anxious. They're really never in the same room with the people who love them very often. They maybe spend half hour a day. I think I read a study that the average parent spends 30 minutes a day with their kid, and then look at all the other stuff that we're farming our kids out to. It's really-
well, and you think about the communication piece too of that, Meg. Like they just do this now. Like to date, to do anything. Like they don't have to stand in front of people and talk anymore. I don't need to work on my people skills because I can send an email. I can send a text. I never have to meet you. I can date on the internet. I can do anything I want. Like it's just, it's all readily available and easy for them. I would argue this, like I don't pray for my kids' safety. I don't. I pray for my kids' resilience. Like I want them to whatever situation comes their way, they have unbelievable resilience and resolve, and they know what God says about them. Like they know that they have an advocate. They know that they have a heavenly Father. Like they know that they're going to have hard times, but I'm more concerned that they know where to go when they have them and that they know how to fight those hard times as opposed to they don't, because they're coming. At some point they are coming for them, but we've got to stretch them socially. We got to drop them in difficult situations. We got to let them fail forward because that's what you do. When you fail forward. You fail and you learn and you grow. And if we move every obstacle out of the way, they never experience that. And they never experience failure and they never experience hard things. And then when they don't have those barriers that have been removed for them, now it's really hard. They don't know how to fight.
Right.
And they don't know what that looks like.
And you think about all the great things that in your life, the great transformations, whether it's mental or physical, psychological, intellectual, it doesn't matter. All come on the heels of hardship. Great things that happen to you rarely happen when your life is going great, great, great. And oh my gosh, I just got this amazing job and I never failed at anything. Usually it doesn't work that way. So we only have a couple minutes left, but you are such an intriguing person. There's a million questions I want to ask you. But so you've done all these different jobs and now you're an author. Congratulations. Welcome. It's great. Usually you write one book and it's just the beginning. And by the way, I think it would be terrific for you to jump into maybe writing a book for parents on how to do all the things you're talking about. But that's another conversation. So you're a dad and you're a former athlete and you're an author and you previously had other careers. You're a busy guy. And I hear you saying, okay, we need to balance all this and teach our kids how to balance. How do you balance your life and your challenges?
Well, I've had some experience with a lot of travel when I worked with ESPN. and we worked for ESPN, not me. Like, I brought my kids every chance I could.
Okay.
I brought my wife every chance I could and visited a ton. Like, my son saw 28 campuses. Like, he's been all over the place. And I just try to make it a we thing and as much as I can involve. One thing I learned the hard way, also, like, I lived kind of a glamorous life on television and all this stuff. So my wife was always asking me questions about what are you doing, and intrigued. And she was at home and she was doing the monotonous and the hard things. And I didn't always ask her. So I had to learn to really make that a conscious effort of like, no. We ain't talking about me when I get on this call. We're going to talk about my baby doll and what she's doing. And so learning the order and how it's supposed to go. It's supposed to go God first. It's supposed to go my baby doll second, and then my babies come next. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the order. It's not any other way. And I think I started having a more successful business life and marriage when I make sure that I keep those in the proper perspective. I see a lot of, Meg, where the kids run the show. Oh, yeah. I see a lot of that nowadays. And I have this analogy that I like to use. Me and my wifey, we're heading home from the hospital. She just gave birth to our first son. His name's Nicholas. Nicholas goes in the car seat. Meg, where does Nicholas go?
Correct. I thought you just put him in the car seat. Yeah, okay.
Nicholas don't ride shotgun. My baby doll rides shotgun. She is number one on this earth. Like, besides God, she is number one. My kids come next. And so I think learning to run your household that way has success, but learning to incorporate your kids. And now, honest to goodness, I'm in a stage, Meg, where I choose to make less money to make more memories. And that's my stage right now, because I got a 9th grader and a 10th grader. I'm not missing. And I'm taking a lot of unpaid coaching jobs to be a part of what they're doing, but I'm going to be there. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. If you can't be there and you've got a job that's difficult, it's taxing, when you're there, be there. Mm-hmm. Put your stupid phone down. Make eye contact. Get into their lives. Ask questions. Don't ask yes or no questions. Yes or no questions are always going to answer, or don't ask it, can it be good? If it's good, then here's what they're going to say. How's your day?
Good. Yeah.
How was lunch? Good.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. What was the best part of your day today, Nicholas?
Yeah.
What was the worst part of your day, Nicholas? Oh, I know you had PE today on the schedule. Did y'all run around? Did y'all do something fun? Like, those are the questions that we ask to get conversation going, to get that stuff happening and to be successful. But you got to be willing to give some things up and to give some times up and some of that money in your life to make sure that family's taken care of.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. You sound so much like me. It's nice to hear somebody else just championing kids and better lives for kids and stuff. Well, I wish we had so much more time. Like I said, I'd love to hear your thoughts on so many different things. Today, I've been talking with David Pollack. He's a former NFL linebacker, college football Hall of Famer. He is a dad, a man of strong faith, and his book is The Won't Quit Kid. It's a book for kids, but parents, read it. It's really, really important, because as you can hear, the message that David has is more for parents really than it is for kids. So, David, thank you so much for joining me today. Whether you're a first-time dad or a seasoned veteran, parenting can sometimes feel overwhelming and even lonely. Just when you think you have your kids figured out, you hit another phase and you have to learn a new set of skills. As a father-inclusive advocate and expert of child-parent relationships, I'm excited to work directly with dads through my private and group coaching designed to meet you where you are and help you navigate the parenthood journey. And moms, do you want your husband or your ex to be a better dad? Sign him up. Don't let fear and doubt hold you back from being the dad you really want to be. Your kids will thank you for it. Click the link in the episode notes today to learn more.